There you have it there. So Minister of Sports, Arts, Culture, Zizi Kodwa, officially concluding the official part of the program. This is at the back of those Heritage Day celebrations there coming out of the Princess Magogo Stadium. And a very warm welcome to our viewers now joining us on SABC2. It's great to have you as we continue to observe and celebrate Heritage Day today. And of course, just before that, the Minister, we spoke to the Minister earlier on, of course, spoke to Jade Polsa, spoke about the importance of this day, the significance of this day, and what it means as a unifying factor for us South Africans, what it means for us as a country, as a people, as South Africa as well, looking at where we come from and looking at our history as South Africa as well. And of course, even just before that, we heard from the Deputy President, Paul Mashatile, just going on to touch on the importance of having a non-racial, non-sexist South Africa and making reference to some of the, stalwarts of the ANC, making mention of the likes of Pixley Kaseme, for instance, and speaking to that rich cultural diversity that we enjoy as South Africa till this day. And he also said that arts and culture has an important role to play in the country in terms of unifying South Africans, and also saying a unique history is what we have, and we should be using this to promote embracing each other as South Africans, and said it is also important to reflect on the future that we envisage for the future generations to come, and of course also touched on an inclusive and equitable society, and said this is very important as there are measures to fast track social cohesion, saying it starts in our schools and it starts at this moment. This was all just ahead of that flame being lit, and this particular flame was of course being ignited to kickstart the Indigenous Games. So this year's Heritage Day kicks off the National Indigenous Games Festival, which will happen at Hoy Park in Durban from the 24th to the 29th of September. Now, despite Africa's rich history of Indigenous Games, a number of these games have become extinct without having them being documented in historical and anthropological accounts of the indigenous people of Africa. To give us more on this, as well as to give us maybe a bit of analysis on what, the Deputy President of the Republic had said, let's bring in our reporter Jade Polsa, who's watching proceedings there at the stadium. Jade, it's great to have you back on the program. So it was quite an interesting speech, of course, by the Deputy President. I can tell you that we've gathered so many insights as far as social cohesion is concerned, as well as unifying ourselves as South Africans. Greater conversations are being had on that on this Heritage Day. Take us through some of your highlights for today.
Well, welcome back to Princess Magogo Stadium. And Olisi, I'm finding it very difficult to hear you, but what I think you're asking me, some of the highlights that Deputy President Paul Mashatile touched on during his speech. And one of the highlights that really stood out for me is how far we have come as a country, the demarcation of certain racial groups in the country, how far we have yet to go in ensuring that everyone has land, everyone is able to be inclusive in certain parts of South Africa and in certain areas, but also touching on the importance of the legacy of Princess Magogo, who was the mother of Prince Mangosuthu, the late Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, and talking about the importance of her also assisting in cultural music. You would know that Princess Magogo herself sang many times to her children, and when we would speak to the late Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, he would often refer to his mother's singing and her cultural beliefs and the way she really embodied cultural music, and talking to us about the importance of preserving cultural and the importance of preserving traditional music. So these are some of the sentiments that came out in his speech, in his maiden speech. But I'm with these young ladies who are also listening, and I think it's very important for us to speak to the youngsters and ask them why it is important to hold on to their culture, to where they come from, their background, the importance of Heritage Day for you.
It's where we, I think that heritage means that our heritage means that our identity, where we come from. It's like were plants planted into the ground. We should be able to hold that and be confident and brave about it. It's about who we are and where do we come from, and that's what I think that heritage, we should hold on to our cultures as well and customs. That's what I think heritage means to us.
And you know, it's important that you speak of culture and holding on to that. I want to talk about language. Why is it important that we preserve our language? Many youngsters at school are not speaking their home language, whether it is isiXhosa, whether it is isiZulu. For you as a Zulu-speaking female, why is it important that you hold on to your home language?
Well, it is our mother language, so it's a mother tongue. Well, I think it's important to we're able to understand, and we're able to, you know, most people speak their mother language, but we are forced to speak English because most people can't speak our mother languages. Yes, and there is high population of English as well.
And then before I let you go, tell me how proud of you to wear your traditional clothing.
I'm very proud. As a Sizulu young female, I am very proud to wear what I'm wearing today. I'm so comfortable in it and confident about my culture as well. Thank you.
And it's so beautiful to hear a young person speaking like that. I want to ask the lady, since we're speaking about language, can you play us out with a beautiful song? Maybe we can stand. There we go. Heritage Day.
Well, happy Heritage Day to you too, Jade. Thank you very much for that report. Let's take you to Limpopo now, where the province is joining the rest of the country in celebrating Heritage Day at Zwigodini Village. Now, this year's heritage theme is celebrating our cultural diversity in a democratic South Africa. Now, the theme puts a spotlight on the country's rich, unique and diverse cultural heritage. For more on the story, we take you now to SABC News reporter Rutendo Bobodi, who joins us now. Rutendo, thank you for your time. So take us through what we can expect from the program from the province as well as they celebrate Heritage Day.
Thank you so much. I can hardly hear you. You're breaking. But if you want to know where we are in Zwigodini, not far from Zimbabwe here. And I think the government has chosen this place because of its rich heritage sites. It has a couple of heritage sites here. It looks dry and dull, but it has some good heritage sites here, and also tourist attraction sites here. Particularly interesting is the fact that there is a Sagore baobab tree, the biggest baobab tree in the world. I think it's also the oldest in the world, that dates about 3,500 years. And as you can see behind me, people are already here coming in. Some are still trickling in, but the government officials, Premier Matavata is here. Also, I see a couple of other dignitaries. The MECs are here, and also people from Zimbabwe are representing the government of Zimbabwe. I think, apart from the fact that this place has heritage sites, it is also a melting pot of cultures and languages. It's a polyglot area. You have Tsonga-speaking people, Venda-speaking people, you have Shona-speaking people, and a lot of other languages here. I think that is why this government, the government of Limpopo, has chosen this place to celebrate culture here. But I'm also particularly interested in what the Premier will say about culture, particularly those heritage sites that I'm talking about, we've been reporting about these sites being abandoned, the infrastructure, the facilities now falling down. I'm particularly interested in that because people are saying government must revive these sites so that they can generate income and also employ a lot of people.
All right, that's our reporter there, Rutendo Bobodi, bringing us an update. Thank you very much indeed for that. And of course, we take you back now to KZN. This is at the Heritage Day celebrations that have been happening there in the province. And of course, earlier on, we heard from the Deputy President of the Republic, Paul Mashatile there, who spoke at length about the importance of us promoting a non-racial, non-sexist, and a South Africa that is reflective of the people that live in it. He also went on to speak about arts and culture, saying that it has an important role to play in the country in terms of unifying South Africans, and said it's very crucial right now for us South Africans to unite. And went on to say there is a unique history that we enjoy as South Africans, and we should be using this history to promote embracing each other as South Africans. As you can see there, the official program has officially concluded. We're seeing some of the musical items now that have been built to perform at this particular celebration there. We're seeing the Big Nas now on stage.